Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Paul and I'm the editorial team leader at CNS Media, the publisher of Food Ingredients First and Nutrition Insights. I'm delighted to be joined today by Lars Asferg, who is the President and General Manager at Lallemand Bio-Ingredients, who is here to discuss the company's recent acquisition of Swiss biotechnology company Evolva. So Lars, perhaps you could start by telling us what attracted Lallemand to this acquisition.
I think it's pretty obvious. If you know Lallemand, we are sort of one of the leaders in yeast-based ingredients and technologies, right? And Evolva, having a long track record in developing and producing complex molecules in yeast, of course, being a small company and with limited, let's say, market access. What we brought then to the table, of course, is our ability to scale things up to a bigger economical scale in production in yeast with our 48 plants all over the world. And of course, also our go-to-market organization. We have 5,000 people, of course, not all in sales, but we cover a broad range of market segments that was until now not really accessible to Evolva being a small company.
Okay. And of course, yeah. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Perhaps a bit more as well, of course, because if you look at the list of products that Evolva has developed, they have some very interesting products there, like Verité, the resveratrol for human use. They also developed the same product into personal care and pet applications. They have interesting molecules for flavor, and they have also vanillin, right? So they have developed a lot of interesting products that we believe has potential out in the world, and we probably could, support the Evolva team in making them come through.
Okay, and of course, Evolva is known for its proprietary precision fermentation platform. In what ways can Lallemand harness this technology to advance its health ingredients and also its flavor and fragrance components?
Yeah, of course, we are a fermentation company. It's really our core, right? So we believe that we, with our experience in fermentation, can actually benefit. They can benefit from our ability to operate at scale in an economical way, and of course their ability to develop complex processes in yeast. We can for sure also learn from. So we see there that's an obvious synergy to be able to do that, and there's the competences in making program the yeast to make these complex molecules is something that we actually not doing today. We are programming the yeast to do enzymes and proteins and so on, but not these complex secondary metabolites. So of course, obviously, we see that as a great addition to our technology base, that we will be able to hopefully to expand also to other applications, from the animal nutrition and in many other areas where this could really be interesting.
Okay, that's interesting. And to what extent will you need to sort of shake up Evolva as you integrate it into the Lallemand Group?
Of course, Evolva was a public listed company in the Swiss stock exchange, right? And of course, when you're a public listed company, you need all kinds of functions, structures to keep that running. And being a part of a privately held company, of course, there'll be some functions that are not anymore needed. That's obvious, right? So there'll be some shaping on these things, but our intention is really to build on the organizational platform in Evolva and create harness the synergies from working with other parts of Lallemand when it comes to production or development, or certainly go to market, where we have a broad range of business units covering all kinds of segments where the Evolva products and technologies could really come to fruition.
Okay, it's interesting. And can we expect to see any bolt-on acquisitions or perhaps even larger acquisitions to support this deal?
I think actually we have most of the pieces of the puzzles to make Evolva a success. So I think what we need to do, we don't plan further in let's say acquisition in this specific related to this deal, but we will have to invest obviously to make all these nice things come through at scale, right? So I see more that we will continue our investments in capabilities, technologies, but sites to make sure that we can make these products in the right quality, in the right quantity, and at the right cost. So that I see what that, of course, but at Lallemand, of course, I have a pretty, it doesn't mean we're not going to acquire, because we typically acquire 1 or 2 companies a year, but not specifically related to Evolva.
Okay, so if we move beyond the acquisition, what other exciting developments can we expect out of Lallemand Bio-Ingredients this year?
Yeah, I mean, an area we have been focused a lot on is partly related to this is using, again, it's all about yeast. Our core is, we are the, that's what we do. And we have basically developed a technology to produce enzymes in yeast. So we are introducing a range and continue to introduce a couple of new enzymes a year based on, produced basically in yeast, which is attractive to a lot of, markets like baking or brewing and so on, where of course, yeast is a very nice and well-known and well-accepted host. But we are sort of able to program it to produce enzymes that interesting enzymes. So that is really a really big focus area for us. We also work a lot on using yeast technology to make molecules or yeast ingredients that actually works as a taste modulator. So I'm able to address some of the issues that you have when you do plant-based, because not all plant-based proteins taste equally well. And we've been able, based on our special yeast technology, been able to make products that are able to mask or modulate taste to make them much more acceptable to consumers. So that's an area where we have quite a lot going on. And we're also working, again, yeast, sorry, but this is on making very highly concentrated, highly pure yeast proteins that of course also has both functional ingredients, nutritional ingredients, but also as a functional ingredient for food, where it has a great 100% nutritional value, and of course a very pure, clean taste. So all related to yeast, but just so you're not only working in yeast, an area we focus a lot on as well is postbiotics, an area that is emerging, and we are well poised, of course, there with our ability to produce these organisms, and of course turning them into postbiotics that is in principle inactivated products that still works and give benefits in the guts. So these are sort of the areas that we are working on for bio-ingredients.
So it sounds like a very busy year ahead for you at Lallemand Bio-Ingredients.
That's for sure. It's never a dull moment here. That's for sure.